that is Mount Kenya. Today, he will be in Kiharu constituency, that is in Murang'a County. Honorable James Gakuya, Ndindi Nyoro. There is a time you urged him to come slow, especially on matters of politics. He's keen to inherit the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, come 2027, so that his Ruto's running mate. And today he will be, the President himself will be going to Ndindi's backyard. What do you make of the political rhetorics that we expect in the course of the day?
One, there is one factor that I can tell you very authoritatively. The whole jinx of the Murima politics is totally different with what you see today. Because that community is not used to go what you call in a violence way. So they will welcome the head of state very calmly. They will listen to him. They will listen to whatever scenarios are going to be discussed there. But they will reserve their case, because there's no way they can be able to put all their cards on the table. That one, today, they will receive the guest, they will listen, and they will welcome everybody who will be there. Probably there can be young youth that actually may be mobilized to woo the Deputy President. That one we have we have those the intros, but that will not change the whole situation.
So in other words, you're saying the kingpin of the mountain is the Deputy President and not Ndindi Nyoro?
I wanted to prove that he's a king of the mountain.
He's hosting the president today.
Which is okay. He's hosting the president as a member of Kiharu, but not as a kingpin of the mountain region. Is
Gachagua threatened by Ndindi Nyoro?
In this case, I can tell you, it could be a threat there before the mountains realized the motive. But now the motive is known.
Are you speaking confidently because Gachagua now reached to the former...
I can tell you for sure, Joe.
First family.
I can tell you, listen to me. Mountain actually only requires to understand what is happening. And they have now noted what is happening. And they have their cards. And they will leave their cards.
And the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, in an interview with media houses, our sister session Kameme, disclosed that he's now in good terms with the first family. That is the former President Uhuru Kenyatta's family. In fact, they engage often. And at the same time, Kalonzo Musyoka talked about there is a political outfit that is being crafted. Are we likely to see Gachagua in the new political outfit now that there are talks of him being impeached?
Joe, this has to be what we call political strategies. And all these cards will depend on how William will conduct himself. If William decides to go for Nyoro, don't expect Gachagua to just be nobody. Yeah.
So in a Gachagua-Kalonzo ticket, who becomes the flag bearer?
I can tell you, if the decision is made and casted, that Gachagua will not be the heir for William come 2027, that could not be the end of the game politically. Gachagua should find his way.
Now between Kalonzo and Gachagua, who becomes the flag bearer?
No, that will just reserve it. It's a matter to discuss at such a time.
So you have hopes that you'll get to 2027 with the Deputy President, or the impeachment motion will purge him out?
There is nothing that will stop Gachagua to see the end of his term. This I can authoritatively tell you. Yes.
Cornelius, in the political matters, the president is now in the mountain that has been disgruntled, especially in the economic policies that have been there, that according to some leaders, including Jeremiah Kioni, that have been targeted was sabotaging the region. In terms of what has been playing out between the DP and the head of state, just give your opinion on it.
I think the president is going back to the mountain in during a very interesting time, because the promises and how the impression he created at the beginning of this government, the impression of shareholding, he must now go back and explain and change the narrative that, after all, we are past the election period, campaign period, and now they must now appreciate that they have to run this government differently. And coming on the back of the perceived persecution of the DP, I think the president has a lot of explanations to make to the people of Mount Kenya. And I think it's a good opportunity for him now to change the narrative that government would have to be run on the basis of the principles of the Constitution as outlined in Article 10, such that this perception that it's only this region that will deserve to get a bigger share of development on account of the number of votes that they put in for the Kenya Kwanza administration is a fallacy and flies in the face of the Constitution. So I think it's a lot of explanation to make so that people are able now to accept that this government or this country is going to be run based on the principles of the Constitution as opposed to what was promised during campaigns.
Morara Omoke, the at one point considered flying president has been in this country for at least 2 months now without taking any international flight. And today he's in the mountain. But with what has been playing out in terms of the political differences between, the perceived political differences between the president and number 2, that is the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, today he will be at Ndindi Nyoro's background. Ndindi Nyoro, you know, is keen to take over Gachagua. What are your projections like politically in the mountain?
In my opinion, I think already the president has lost Mount Kenya, and probably he needs to start reworking his arithmetics for the next election. And I think that's why he's looking for Raila Odinga. He's working very closely with Musalia Mudavadi, and there is a new force emerging. I think, as you predicted, probably we might see the deputy president working very, with Kalonzo Musyoka, whether he's impeached or not. I think that he's moving towards that direction.
And in terms of the oust of the deputy president, what does the Constitution say on his removal?
The threshold required is extremely high. Of course, the grounds is that he must have engaged in a serious breach of the Constitution, or is an element of incapacity that is either mental or physical. If you have to go through an impeachment motion, then you need a 2/3 majority, which is, I think it's very difficult to get those numbers at this point. Because many people might talk, it's all talk. When it comes to the real action, I don't think that many of them will vote to impeach. They might probably not show up during the impeachment trial.
Will it be a hit or miss to impeach Gachagua at this point?
It's totally misguided, because at this point the country is dealing with more serious issues. And if you're impeaching the deputy, then you might first need to start with the boss, because what issue would you be raising with the deputy? The first person, the person who is responsible for everything is number 1 before you come to number 2. So there is no ground. Of course, it could be a way of it could even be something that could be undertaken just to distract the Kenyans from the most important issues that they're dealing with on a day-to-day.
Well, Honorable James Gakuya, Meru Governor Kawera Mwangaza has been impeached again. 49 MCAs approved a motion to oust him that was tabled by the deputy majority leader. 17 MCAs rejected her, while 3 were absent. On what is happening in Meru, it's in the mountain. You know, now they will be coming to the Senate. This time round, should the whole county assembly be dismissed, and as well the governor and her deputy?
I would say that the disharmony between the two camps, because the Constitution is very clear that the MCAs are the checks and balances of governors. But that does not mean it is an express way to give governance on such a critical journey of his or her leadership. I think that actually, if I observe this case of Meru very well, there has to be outside forces which are forcing the MCAs to go that direction. Because this time round we have seen 17 against the process. There before, things were tough because there were only 3 who were in the support. So it means there are those who are not buying the narrative of going against the governor. At the end of the day, who will suffer is the constituents of Meru County. And if I have been listening to the crowd very well, the crowd of Meru is still in the support of their governor. So this is a political wing which is fighting her. And if the MCs are wise enough, they should forthwith stop the battle. Or else they resign and leave the governor. Because what will happen if the governor will be safeguarded by the Senate again? Because they have no the final whistle. The final whistle is at the Senate. And I still believe the Senate will not find any meaningful reason to fire that lady. And I can tell you, if I am not wrong, the problems that are facing Kawera, if you check them well, her deputy has an issue and with those negative mechanisms. So I think the beauty of Meru is to bring harmony together and unite as a team for the growth of the Meru. But if the Meru will end the whole 5-year term in this chaotic crisis, what is the interest of these MCs at the end of the day? They also need development in their wards. How? What is this so difficult that Kawera cannot be able to lead to? This is politics that are beyond some levels. Because we have found the deputy president trying to unite them together. They failed. But you realize that actually even the membership of parliament from Meru, they are also against Kawera. So I don't know what is this. So political wing is the one battling Kawera. So allow Kawera to do her job because he was elected by people, not political wings.
Cornelius, you know, some of the grounds, they're accusing the governor of gross violation of the constitution, gross misconduct, misuse of funds, and abuse of office, among others. Are these sufficient grounds for her removal? It's the third time she'll be appearing before the Senate.
I think the Meru County Assembly should learn from the two previous failed attempts at impeaching Kawera. If the new charges are anything to go by, probably the Senate will tell us so. But I think I'm just feeling that the people of Meru, especially the ordinary Mwananchi, is losing big time. Because I don't think the governor is able to do anything currently apart from concentrating on our defense. So in terms of service delivery, I think we need to deal with this whole idea about impeachments after impeachments. And I think probably there's a lacuna or there's something in the law that needs to be dealt with so that we are able to find a situation whereby accountability at the level of the counties can be exercised without necessarily disrupting service delivery. Isn't there anything that the County Assembly of Meru can do apart from going for the last resort, that is impeachment, to ensure that the county government is able to operate accountably? I think it means therefore that probably they're running short of either choices or mechanisms of holding the county government accountable, and therefore resorting to impeachment, which is thereby provided for in law, but it cannot be the thing that we do all the time. So I think there must be a way in which we are able to exact accountability, but also facilitating an environment whereby what in the Meru County government is that it's become a dysfunctional government. And ultimately,
Joe, you understand very well. According to the Constitution, you cannot remove a governor so that you go for an election. So the movers of the motion, actually the intention is to pick the deputy to govern. So that's why I'm telling you there has been issues there which are very political.
Amoraro Moke, is there a lacuna in the law on the impeachment of governors so that at least even the residents of Meru get to enjoy Kawera's, leadership? And there's also been discussions that the whole county can be, the dissolution. Who does it affect when that happens, and can the president do that?
So there are two questions you've asked. The first one is whether there is a lacuna in the law. I would agree that the law has not sufficiently covered this process. Other than providing for it, the law has not stated what is the threshold that the Senate must consider, what is the threshold the county assemblies should consider when they decide whether someone is impeachable or not. So that's one of the challenges we have. One of the lacunas. The other one is that we need probably the law to prescribe further provisions on how should this process really be undertaken, other than just simply saying the requirements of it. We would like to know how frequent, how should the Senate always entertain every impeachment that comes from the county assemblies in a conclusive manner, or sometimes it can actually even dismiss it summarily. Like in this case where the Melo County has simply made themselves experts in impeachment. And I think that's unfortunate because they have really painted the county and its people in a very bad way, making them look like they are simply whiners and people that are all, petty squabblers, which is not really I don't think that's an accurate representation of the people. The people are really, I believe they desire to be involved in development and day-to-day progress. So that's unfortunate for the county assembly to do what they are doing currently, just simply impeaching for the sake of it every single day. The other thing, in terms of the dissolution, I think that could be the way, that's probably is what should be done. Dissolve the entire council. All of these people should go back and seek a mandate. But normally it's not always going to be good for the people. You saw what happened in Nairobi when when Sonko simply signed off his mandate to the metropolitan, the Nairobi metropolitan entity which was set up at that time. So it's usually not a very good way of handling the county affairs. I hope Parliament can do something, just simply create a law that gives clarity, that clarifies the process. I think that would be really helpful.
Well,
because my understanding is that this process, all this that is happening in Meru is I think it's all driven by the members of county assembly not getting certain things that they want the government to do for them. She's not managing them the way probably the members of county assemblies are being managed in other parts of the country, but it's unfortunate. Also, it could be that they just simply hate her for being a woman who defeated many other candidates who are men in the race, and maybe some people have not come to terms with the fact that a woman won in that county. And I think that's extremely unfortunate. The other thing is that she's vulnerable, being an independent candidate who was not really affiliated to any political party.
But now she's supporting the UDA party. And now to Honorable Gakuya, we shift gears to matters economy. The central bank has moved to replace the defaced banknotes. According to the CBK Governor Kamau Thuge, the notes that we have are getting old. Is this satisfactory to just, give the German-based money printer the contract?
When the money becomes old, there is always ways of replacing this money, because you know that the lifetime for a certain note, and when those notes cannot be used, and there is a gradual way of removing the old notes back to CBK, and the new ones comes in. So that cannot be a justification for this particular action. Number two, I realize that actually they are talking of issues to do with having now that Nige as a signatory, and then the PS also,
National Treasury,
also takes charge somewhere, and also changing some serious marks of the notes. To me, that's not a genuine fact, because this money has been used in this country with no issues. And I don't think that actually we can say that bringing more marks will avoid fake currencies to be printed. If that monkey business will ever been there, unless you deal with those rackets where they are, but you still find them in operation. And in this particular case, I believe, moving to a new currencies, it means you have to use some liquid cash more, because you should use a different mechanisms of now having new currency, and that is an extra cost. So therefore, if this particular changes is not incurring any zero coin to taxpayers, I would say it's a good way. But since there has to be cuts of extra coin, then to me, it is not advisable.
And now to Cornelius Oduor, you know, in the wake of economic problems in the country, the CBK governor comes and say, look, we have old notes, we need new ones, and so a Germany-based money printer has been contracted to do that. Is this a scheme even to laundry money, or for a few individuals to benefit from this printing of this money?
In this era of digital currency, I don't understand why printing of new currency becomes a priority. Because I think what government should be focusing on is to promote the growth of digital currency, because that much of the transactions then should be able to take place on a digital platform. The M-Pesas, the mobile transfers from banks and everything else. So I think nothing is further from the truth. It could be, because we're just less than 5 years since this new currency was brought. So what is it serving anyway? And we thought probably that we were trying to deal with the problem of money laundering, and nothing came out of it actually, because we still see a lot of money being thrashed in public rallies and even in churches. So I think there could be other motives than what we are reading about security features in the current notes. If it's a supply-driven demand, probably people are angling to make a few more resources from these deals. But I think what government should be focusing on and reinforcing is the expansion of the digital currency, where I think we have more safety features than the printed notes.
We are about to end up. I'm coming back to you.
Dollar has survived for many, many years. What's wrong with our currency?
Marara Omoke, we have the central bank is now unveiling new notes. We are beginning with the 1,000 ones. Are you reading malice with the move by the CBK that our notes are already old? As you give your parting shot.
Not necessarily, but I think, of course, as my two colleagues have said, Honorable Gakuya and Mr. Oduor, it would be, I mean, this could be ways of either just simply engaging the usual procurement process of government, which normally benefits some individuals. It could be, that could be one reason, but to me, the bigger issue is why are we focusing on so much of this traditional currency? We should move to more, we should be modernizing now. The world is transitioning to cryptocurrency. I think over time, people are no longer using the hard cash as much. We have moved to internet and mobile banking. So printing of this cash, I don't see the value of it at all, in my opinion. What we should be doing is, let's be strengthen the currency. You know, avoid some of the things that are actually causing the inflation, like dirty money coming in, all this money that is not being accounted for. Those are the things we should be looking at. Otherwise, I think we are not serious about improving the economy. If our focus is just printing, you know, new printouts for older printouts, or just simply improving one or two things, adding a signature, for instance, of an additional signature on the currency, how does that really, how does that help the security features of the currency? I don't see it.
You're parting short in 30 seconds or less.
I think we can say that our country is not at the right place, but there is hope, I think, because when the young people are engaged in the day-to-day conversation, that's extremely important for our country.
Thank you so much, Morara Omoke, an advocate. Now to Honorable James Gakuya, your parting shot on the state of the nation in 30 seconds or less.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so on how economically. I think cardinal measure, all of us, is to think positive on how we can build this country, because we have a duty to leave the country better than we found it. So let us not use mechanisms of just making sure that we are wasting our resources. Let us close all these doors of wastage, and printing new monies is a way of wastage. Can we stop that business? Because surely it is not economical to the country.
Thank you so much. Cornelius, your parting shot.
Yeah, mine is just to encourage the Gen Zs that they should not lose hope, despite the excessive use of force by the Kenyan government to forestall their right to demonstrate. They should continue clamoring for change, because that's the rightful thing to do. This country belongs to them. And if they continue pushing, I believe that the future is very bright. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cornelia Zoduor, Deputy Executive Director, Kenya Human Rights Commission, Honorable James Gakuya, Embakasi North Member of Parliament, also the Chair, Trade Committee of the National Assembly, and Morara Moki, an advocate, who has just joined us virtually. It has been a conversation on the events of the week, reviewing them one by one. My name is Joel Chacha. See you again on Monday, right here on The New Dawn. Good day.